Hi there, this is Cyril. So let's see Rick Beato's quick lesson again this week.
Quick lesson, when working on your lines or your scales, it's cool to break them up not just in odd groupings like 5, 5, 5, 5. Maybe try 5, 5, 4, 6, for example, or any combination like that. Let's say you've got an E altered scale. You guys know I like the altered scale.
Okay, there are two things I'd like to detail here is the concept of altered scale and then odd note grouping. So let's have a look first at what an altered scale is. It is simply a note, a scale where all the notes are flattened except the tonic. So for example, if we have a look, it's also called the super-locrian scale. And if we take the example of the major C scale, like this one from the piano. So basically what you do is you flatten all the notes except the C. So D goes to D flat and then and so on. So alright, and that way on the piano you can have really quick an idea of the sound. Okay, so on the guitar, if we look at the C scale, for example, so here, this is the major scale. You can flatten any note by moving a fret up, so that way it becomes the C altered scale. So let's have a look a bit closer on the fretboard, how it looks. So this is the E altered scale. You see the scheme, the diagram might be a bit hard to memorize. So of course we could play the scale trying to memorize the full thing, but there are so many so many diagrams to memorize. But it could be nice. I mean, you can have the E pedal note and then look here. But looking at that diagram, I've seen some shapes and I like to share this little trick. You see some shapes that are really close to the minor pentatonic, right? For example, if we have a look at some minor pentatonic shapes, the ones that are really well known, you have shape number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and look at shape 5 here. It really resembles to what we have here on the E altered scale. You see you have this column of notes there, and you have this shape. Except the black note, which is the tonic, the E, okay? So here on the 13th fret to the 15th, so we can play this pentatonic shape. But if we do that, we miss two notes. We miss, of course, the root, which we can keep as the pedal note anyway, and we can add it when we know where it is. For example, here, okay? Or we can also try to see another shape. Actually, this looks like it's really close to the G minor scale, the full minor scale. So let's have a look first to the G minor pentatonic. If we compare the G minor pentatonic to the E altered scale, you see that the G minor pentatonic contains 5 notes as a pentatonic scale, and all the notes are within the E altered scale. But we have 2 more notes. We have the E, okay, and we also have the G sharp. This note here, right? G and G sharp here. So we have those two notes which are added to the G minor pentatonic scale. And so this is quite close to the G minor scale. What I like to point out here is this little box. You see? This little box in the G minor pentatonic. So this one. Side. In the minor scale, we have those two notes that are in diagonal, right? So that's the regular pattern for the minor scale. We have this box here of notes that we retrieve also right there, and in many places on the fretboard. For example, you have it here, right? And there too. This little box. This is from the G minor scale. And if you look at the E altered scale, the only difference, we also have those diagonal notes, I would call them, but in the other way, okay? So then it gives okay, or also closer to the neck. So with the E as a pedal note, so I think it's a nice trick to remember the altered scale. So now we can practice this E altered scale with this minor pentatonic trick. Okay, and so now let's play with those odd grouping of notes. So what Rick has mentioned is the 5-5-5-5 note grouping. So to better understand these 5 notes grouping that Rick Beato mentions, let's first build a simple loop based on 4 beats per bar, right? So we have the regular 4 beats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so if we play regular 4 notes grouping, let's keep with the E altered scale. So Rick mentions the 5 notes grouping. That means that every cycle of 5 notes, I will not end on the strong beat, on the first beat. So it's only after 4 repetitions of 5, that means 20 beats, that I will land actually on the regular beat. So this is a 4 notes grouping. Let's compare it to a 5 notes grouping. See, after 4 repetitions of those 5 notes, I land on the right time, okay? So here is a nice exercise I'd like to propose. Play 4 notes grouping and then 5 notes grouping. Each time 4 times, and try to get the feel when you come back on the strong beat, okay? So let's start with 4, okay? Now 5. Okay? We can change the note pattern we're playing. For example, we can move our positions on the scale, right? For example, okay, and you can do that with the 5 notes pattern, of course. So that's a cool exercise to practice over. Listen carefully to Rick's playing. He plays those groups of notes, not with an even time spacing like we did. He just plays things like... Okay, so for example 4, and then 6, right? Then 5, 5 again. So that example would totally fit to get a total of 20 notes, right? Okay, and the final exercise, we can practice continuous series of groups of notes or separated groups of notes as Rick does, trying to stay within the rhythm. I think it's very important as an exercise. So I will try that with my loop and I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you like the video. Please remember to subscribe and share it. And thanks again. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. you.